To build a major scale, we start on a letter name, and we move up every single consecutive letter name until we arrive at the same letter name. That's 7 different letter names, and then finally a repeat. So C here, D, E, F, G, A, B, and finally back at C. And we don't skip or repeat notes. We can build any major scale starting on any note by moving up a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, or 2 whole steps, then half, then 3 whole steps and a half, as we learned about in the previous video. But if we want to be able to build keys faster and not have to go through this process of building this pattern 2 wholes half, 3 wholes half, it's helpful to memorize all the different sharps and all the different flats that we have in the different keys. And in order to do this, one of the things we do is we learn about the circle of fifths. If we start out on the key of C, we don't have any sharps or flats. Every time we move up 1/5 from C, C, D, E, F, G, we add 1 sharp. So here in the key of G, I have 1 sharp. Here in the key of D, 5 up from G, I have 2 sharps. In the key of A, I have 3 sharps. Up another 5th, E, that key has 4 sharps. Up another 5th, B, 5 sharps, and so on. If I move down 1/5 from C, I get to F, and I have 1 flat. B flat, down another 5th, has 2 flats. Down another 5th, the key E flat has 3 flats. And on, up to my 7 different flats. Now we just learned that every time we go up 1/5 from C, we add 1 sharp. And when we go down 1/5 from C, we add 1 flat. But we don't know which sharps or flats that we add. So we have to memorize an order of sharps and an order of flats, the order in which they occur. When we put these sharps and flats in, it makes the key follow the normal major scale pattern instead of deviating from it. The order of sharps is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So we have a mnemonic for that. Fat cats go down alleys eating birds. If I added 3 sharps then in the key of A, I'd have the first 3 sharps here. F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Over here, the key of F, I'd have the first 6, F, C, G, D, A, E. And I'd have only those ones. It always occurs in that order. Every time I go down another 5th from C and add a flat, the same thing happens, except for I add them in the opposite order. Instead of F, C, G, D, A, E, B, add them B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Notice if I read this backwards, F, C, G, D, A, E, B, it's the same as order of sharps. So order of flats is order of sharps, but backwards. And you can use a mnemonic device for this as well. BEAD for bead, gum, candy, fruit. There's of course other possible mnemonics. Anything you want to that represents these letters is just fine. What you should do though is memorize these letters fast. F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Well, now you know how to get the sharps for each of the keys, going up fifths and down fifths, up for sharps, down for flats. And many times when people represent these, they represent them visually. They do that by putting all the sharps and all the flats around a circle. So the sharps, they start at C with 0, then go to G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp. The same thing we just did, but now we're seeing them go around clockwise around a circle. After we arrive at 4 sharps, each of the keys, 5, 6, and 7, upwards, can be spelled enharmonically. Here this B can be spelled as a C flat, F sharp can be spelled as G flat, and D flat can be spelled as C sharp. We can do the same thing going around the opposite way, counterclockwise, and get us flats. 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flats, 4 flats, and on past 4 flats where I get my enharmonic keys that could be spelled as sharp keys. So now that we know how to get our sharps, how many sharps are in each of these keys, and the order we put them in, we need to be able to write them on a staff. Here we have the key of C sharp major, which has all 7 sharps. This key can then illustrate how we write all the sharps out on the staff. So we first start out with the high F and put the F sharp on the line, followed by the C sharp down below. We have these 2 in a group. Next, to put the G sharp, we start above and go down the next 3 sharps. G sharp, D sharp, A sharp. Finally, we put the last 2 back up again, E sharp and B sharp. So we have all 7 sharps in a pattern of 2, 3, 2. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp. Here we have a flat key with all the flats, C flat major. This can illustrate how we write the flats out on the staff. We start with the first flat in the B, E, A, D, G, C, F order of flats. We start with the B flat in the middle, and we go up to the next flat, E flat. Then we continue in this pattern of left, upper, right flats. 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, and the last one. B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Each of these patterns looks the same in the bass clef as well. Here we have the bass clef sharps, the group of 2 F sharp, C sharp, next group of 3 G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, next group of 2 E sharp, B sharp. The flats mimic the treble clef as well, same type of pattern. B flat, E flat, group of 2 going up to the right, followed by A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and our lone F flat.